Gonna win, long as you're happy, you're always gonna grin. You get out what you put in. You get out what you put in. Never gonna lose, never gonna win. Long as you're happy, you're always gonna grin. You get out what you put in. You get out what you put in. You get out what you put in. Yeah, we got Amy. Oh, don't do that to me. Oh my goodness.
A little bit late is what you're trying to say, isn't it?
Slightly. But you did have to drive all the way back from Manchester yesterday, didn't you?
I was actually on a train. It was delayed and then cancelled, delayed, took 4 hours instead of 2.
Yeah, it didn't take 6 hours in a car, though, did it? No, I live in Devon, so I'm not complaining. Oh my goodness. Wasn't it fantastic yesterday, Amy? Look,
I loved it so much.
Kirsty's looking forward to this. Claire's looking forward to this. Oh look, you've got a lot of fans. You've got a lot.
They're also there at Accountex yesterday. It was so good. You forget how useful and energizing these events are. Obviously, they're exhausting as well.
The thing is, someone commented on my post and said, "What did you get from it?" It was the community, Amy, wasn't it? It was the community.
It was great. I saw that a lot, actually. There was a lot of clustering. It wasn't just clustering around stands. It was clustering in between stands.
Yeah.
More than ever. And I thought, and you know what I thought? I thought that's the bookkeeping influence. That's bookkeepers doing that.
Look, and they're all on here today as well. So I'll tell you what else I got from Accountex yesterday. Look, see my shirt. I can never do this. It's there.
Firm check.
Yeah, right. Hang on a second.
Oh gosh, I didn't know it was going to be this kind of show, Ashley.
The cheeky monkeys have got my colour.
Oh, I see.
Can you believe that?
there's also a lot of red in the accounting professional body space as well. So we all like red. Yellow's such a good colour.
Oh, isn't it? Isn't it? Look at all these lovely people. Oh, David. Hi, David.
Oh, hi, David Winch.
Hi, James. Philippa. She did a great talk yesterday. Pavel, you should have come up with me, man. It was great fun. Anyway,
Check, of course, is where Kevin Lord who was originally a free agent, is now.
That's right. Yeah.
And that was interesting for me, where we had a lot of those AML software providers in the room. There's more and more of those every event.
I had a chat with one of my clients, and the joys of living in Devon and the joys of technology today means I can work with anybody anywhere. And so I've been working with this guy for, I don't know, 12, 18 months. And I met him yesterday at Accountex because he's from up Hull way. And so they came over, brought the whole practice. They said how amazing the show was. But I'd never met him before. And I met quite a lot of people there yesterday who I've never met before because they're up north and I'm down here. And so it was brilliant. And
you're really smooth with it. I get confused because quite often I say hi to people I've never met just because they're kind of internet celebrities. And then poor Stuart Miller from Xero, I was like, we've never met, have we? Because we've had this we've had an ongoing online experience. I really was quite it's difficult when you can't place people or where you've met them or.
The thing is, right, because they've seen you a lot, you know, you're all over the place, and I do a little bit on LinkedIn. They're really familiar, and it's lovely, isn't it? Lovely, it just shows how important social media and Zoom and all those sorts of things are to small business owners. You're all right. You've got an office full of people and what have you. I'm here in the shed on my own, and a lot of the people watching and listening today are exactly the same. And it's these events that brings everybody together. And it was brilliant, wasn't it?
It's a great time to be a human.
Yeah, absolutely. And
hopefully making it easier.
And I've only been to Manchester a couple of times, not really spent a lot of time there. Aren't the people amazing? Are they lovely? And the architecture up there is amazing.
It is good, isn't it? Even though it was raining, you could tell what a gorgeous city.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Amy, just in case nobody knows who you are, give us a quick introduction.
Hello, I am Ami Copeland, and I'm very proud to be the CEO of ICB. The ICB is the Institute of Certified Bookkeepers. We are the UK's only professional body that specialises in bookkeepers, and we're very proud of that. And there were lots of bookkeepers there yesterday.
There was, wasn't there? There was, yeah. Zoe and Joe were there. I saw them on stage, but never got to say hello. And that's the thing. You say, "Oh, I didn't say, oh, I didn't." And then the other thing is, how many selfies did you take, Amy?
Do you know what? I actually didn't do such a great job. I posted them all on LinkedIn today, so that must have been fewer than 9 selfies. But what I really like to do is when our members come to our stand, I take a selfie with them. But I was so busy. Like hundreds and hundreds of sort of conversations, and then you get these great ideas. But Joe and Zoe with their dynamos of the bookkeeping world, I imagine there's no bookkeeper in the world that hasn't heard of them at this point, but they were doing a really interesting and incredibly useful talk about what do accountants not know about bookkeepers. It kind of had a snazzier title, The Secret Life of Bookkeepers.
That's right. Yeah. And why do you guys keep it a secret? Because you are the lifeblood of all us small business owners.
We are now, I think. Yeah, the rise of the bookkeeper. That was the name of their book, and it is a phrase that is being bandied around everywhere. But yeah, bookkeepers are no longer under a bushel. Bookkeepers are absolutely up front and center now. But I think sometimes still accountants, and there's obviously there's a spectrum, and in the middle there's the bookkeeper accountant hybrid. But there is still sometimes a difference in approach, a different in kind of methodology, and obviously the services people offer. But I find sometimes, some accountants still don't really quite understand the value of a bookkeeper, how to communicate them and kind of leverage off what bookkeepers do, and how important it is to get an accurate set of books, and how much easier that makes the person who's doing the year end, how much easier it makes their life. And it will definitely help with things like making tax digital, whenever it comes in, whatever form it comes in. But that communication between bookkeepers and accountants and everybody in the accounting industry, I think, is so important. And yeah, I think it's getting better and better and easier with technology and events like Accountex.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's bringing everybody together as well, because everybody was there to help everybody. Everyone was so friendly. No, it was brilliant. I'm still buzzing now, and I didn't have much sleep either. There's loads and loads of messages coming in. Somebody here, we don't know who you are, so if you come back on again, write your name. But from Carlisle, first ever time at Accountex yesterday, and absolutely loved it. And I don't know about you, Amy, but I spoke to a lot of first time visitors.
Like myself, like yourself.
Well, yes, we're first time Manchester visitors.
Yes,
but we have been to Accountex before. Whereas these people have never been to Accountex before, because it's too far to come to London, and so I'd be interested to hear what the numbers were. But it was a lovely site, and this guy I was talking to was going, "It's brilliant! I know we're coming away with all these ideas." So if you're listening, make sure that you do something with all of those ideas, because you're going to forget about them in a couple of days' time when you get back and do stuff.
Yes.
Apparently, everybody knows you. According to Claire.
Thanks, Claire.
Elizabeth said there were so many people she missed out on. Oh,
yes.
Elizabeth, I am kicking myself. Got a question for you, Amy, from Sufi. What is the one thing you would be proud of being CEO? So what's the most thing that you're proud of?
Oh my gosh, that's a good question.
It's a great question, isn't it? You're on the spot.
Going to be completely selfish. I think it's just... it really gives me that kick up the bum to do things that are actually quite terrifying.
Oh,
and basically I've got absolutely no excuse. So like yesterday, we were just saying hi, and you said, "What are you doing at 12:30 tomorrow?" And because I'm the CEO, I feel like I absolutely can't say no. So not that I would have, of course, but I've just come off this big workshop beforehand, so I had to cut that short. And it gives me that real... the buck stops here, basically. Sometimes that responsibility is obviously quite thrilling in and of itself, but it gives me that reason to just really put myself out there and not let fear hold me back, which is something that nobody should let hold them back.
Oh, but we do though, don't we? And I think that was quite evident with the talk that we did on social media yesterday.
I'm afraid I did not. I heard about it, but I wasn't able to see it. And you were there with...
Superstars, real superstars. Yeah.
And I was saying, I'm sure it had so much energy, but people really benefit from that kind of thing. And you're speaking at the Bookkeepers Summit, I believe, on social media.
I certainly am. We've managed to make it happen. I've got a meeting at the same time that you need me there. but we've moved a few things around so I'm able to be there. So come on, tell us a little bit more about this summit, because I'm really excited.
I've got I'm not in the ICB office today, and I've got this sweet dog he's
just found his squeaky toy. That is.
I didn't think that was going to happen, did you? The rubber chicken is going to be here, I'm afraid, Spyro, for now. The Bookkeepers Summit it's like Accountex, but it's specifically for bookkeepers. And actually, at this point, there is no other big event like that that's just for bookkeepers. So it's got a really special kind of flavor. And our theme for this year is actually do it your way. So it's in recognition of the fact that bookkeepers come in all shapes and sizes, all different parts of the country, if not the world. And it's definitely a career that you can pick if you're looking for something very flexible. You want to run a business, but it's got to be on your own terms. And our bookkeepers are running these very personality-driven businesses. And actually, somebody said to me yesterday, Matthew Bold, what he really liked about Accountex Manchester was that it seemed like he was doing a good job. And he said, sometimes as a small bookkeeper, if you don't have a huge number of clients or you're not working full time, you feel like you're in the minority. But actually, whatever size you are, whatever your ambitions, it's okay with ICB, and actually it's okay with your clients ultimately. But yeah, so the Bookkeeper Summit is all about how to be the best bookkeeper you can be. And we've got all the normal sponsors and software providers and industry updates. So it's a combination of technical CPD as well as that kind of practice management, goal setting, how to network, and it's a good excuse to get away from the pets.
Absolutely. It's a good job you're blurred out in the background, because we haven't got a clue what Spyro is up to. But that is absolutely hilarious. He's a puppy. What sort of puppy?
He's a whippet puppy.
Right.
One of the reasons I got a whippet was because apparently they don't bark.
Okay. Someone needs to speak to Spyro. That's absolutely hilarious.
He's barking at now. He's barking at an owl toy.
So we're talking about the summit. I'm doing the online version, but you've also got a real person version. So when are they? Where are they? How do we get tickets?
Really good question. So it's the 6th of November in person. That's on the Monday. We've got a day break, and then we've got 2 days online on the 8th and 9th of November. And the first online day is a demo day. So I do have to get rid of this.
That's absolutely fine. So while you're gone, I'm going to start putting up some things on the screen. So we've got Philippa is excited to be at the summit. She's going to be involved. Kirsty is looking forward to the party. So I love that. Miho says that you're very energetic, and this is the thing, isn't it? It's that sort of energy that brings people in and get them enjoying what you do. So I love that. And
we are so passionate about what we do at ICB, and we've been having a sort of love-in this morning in our big team meeting about how great it was to meet more bookkeepers and more of our members at the Inspire Tour yesterday. And yes.
So
really? And you spelled Spyro correctly as well.
So someone else's dog, that's Bethany, isn't it? I think I met you yesterday, didn't I, Bethany? And is the dog coming to the summit? I love that, Elizabeth. Why not? That's the thing. Why can't the dog come?
Stressful. I did actually bring my baby once to the Bookkeeper Summit because I had to feed her. But I don't recommend it really. I like to, I do like as much as possible. And this is something that I learned from bookkeepers as well. You've got to have boundaries. So I do like as much as possible to keep the kids and the pets and any kind of other people that I'm responsible for out of my work environment as much as possible.
No, absolutely. And so where is this live event?
Thank you so much for keeping me on track, Ashley.
Yeah, that's all right.
The event is at the Park Plaza Hotel, Westminster, on the 6th of November. So it's directly opposite Big Ben, a lovely part of London.
Wow, that's cool.
And then we've got our Luca Awards that evening. So they are the Oscars of the bookkeeping world. And we've actually just closed the nomination entries for this season. So we've got lots and lots of work now to look at those. We get them judged by an esteemed panel of industry experts. And then also, just to keep it really lively, we have got a set of awards that are given out to the vendors and the suppliers. So we also crown the most popular bookkeeping software of the year, and all the different kind of categories of software and training providers. And the really cool thing about that set of awards is it is just voted for by bookkeepers. So that's not actually judged by the industry experts. It is literally the voice of the bookkeeper speaking.
Fantastic. So everyone's going to, that means that we're putting more effort into everything that we do, not just schmoozing with whoever's doing the judging. So yeah, no, absolutely superb. So you got a busy week that week then, haven't you?
Busy week, yes, and it is also Global Bookkeeping Week. So that is an international celebration.
Oh, wow. I'll have to make sure I add that to my weekly nudge. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I'll give you all the hashtags.
No, fantastic. And then on the 8th and 9th, for those of us that can't make it to London, we can do it all online.
Yes. So we have a different set of different bits of content we do on the different days. So the Monday in-person stuff, we've got one big stage, and it's all that kind of really exciting, big picture thinking, like aha moments on the stage, as well as an exhibition of our favorite vendors. And then when we go online, like I say, we've got a demo day for anybody that wants to be shown all the latest features with the best software. And the great thing about that, I think, is that you do it together with your fellow bookkeepers. So you can let somebody else ask that silly question or whatever you think is a silly question, or you can kind of comment together in the chat as you're watching it.
There's no such thing as a silly question,
yeah.
is there?
I had to slightly correct myself. But I think that's quite nice. It's almost like a watch party, because I know people can do demos whenever they like. But I think it's quite nice to do it as part of the community, which is very nice. And then you're getting a demo that's directed to bookkeepers specifically. And then the next day, on the Thursday, we have a whole ream of new content where it's the kind of stuff where you really want to be paying attention and possibly even replaying it afterwards. So the real kind of learnings are going to happen there. So we've got you, Ashley. And what are you talking about?
I don't know. Probably LinkedIn, don't you think?
Probably something to do with LinkedIn.
Yeah, absolutely.
Getting yourself out there.
Yeah.
We've got things like Rebecca Bennyworth talking about kind of technical tax stuff, basis period reform, which is quite exciting. And we know we've got a payroll update. So loads of incredible content. So yeah, it's Elizabeth Carter, who's actually posted on here already, our amazing head of marketing, who started just earlier this summer. She has created an amazing set of sessions for us. And in the online, we've got these two different tracks, one of which is Stay Strong, and the other one is Go Big. And again, this is about, what do you want to do with your business? Are you happy where you are and you just want to optimize it? Or do you want to learn more or just keep up to date? Or are you ready to go big? And we've got, we always have members doing, combinations of these things. Some of our practices go bigger, some of them go smaller and they downsize and they start having subcontractors and not employees. So we really want to just call out those great stories of people that are doing it their way.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing. And obviously we can do either track and choose what to try. We've got more comments going on here. Claire's saying that Helen Bauer spoke up for bookkeepers and our value at Accountex yesterday when an accountant suggested clients should do their own bookkeeping. So hooray for Helen. So that's great. James Webb has just started doing some work with you guys. Sobi has been good and helpful. Really looking forward to reaching out to the many bookkeepers. Met so many nice people at Accountex. I don't think there was anyone horrible yesterday, James. They were all absolutely delightful. Really like having demos with other bookkeepers for certain softwares. We can learn from each other's questions. Penelope Allard, Susanna Whelan, and Claire Allen, for example.
Picking out some of our great influential bookkeepers there who use their experience and share it with other members, which is such a great thing that bookkeepers do.
It's incredible, isn't it?
Sorry, accountants who want their clients to do their own bookkeeping, good luck with your business. I mean, that's one kind of business model, isn't it? But how many clients do we know that should be doing their own bookkeeping and would like to if they were given the chance?
Yeah, absolutely. Because the only reason I set up this business, Amy, is so that I could learn how to use Xero, do bank recs and all of that. That's the only reason I set my business up. Nothing to do with helping people and doing stuff like this. No, it's all so I could do bookkeeping. I don't think that happens, does it?
It doesn't. You've just got to find. We've got actually when we were at Accountex, we've got one of our leaflets says use round pegs for round holes. And I think sometimes, if somebody loves doing bank recs, give the bank rec job to that person. And the way that bookkeepers get this sense of pleasure from helping business owners, doing those things that business owners don't like, it's almost criminal to try to take that great work of a great bookkeeper.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing, right? We're all good at certain things. So why not just do it? Okay, so we've been to the Digital Accountancy Show together. We've also been to London Accountex. So what are your thoughts and vibes? Because it was my first time as well, for Manchester then.
Number one, beautiful location. I really liked it. A huge arch, wasn't it? This beautiful red brick. So I loved that. It was very airy and light. And when you're kind of in that sort of environment, I think it just kind of, just opens up your thinking, doesn't it? So really nice location and 4 different theatres. So a lot of people actually also were kind of saying to me what I felt as well, which is that Accountex, the main one in London, is great, but it must be 5 times bigger, and and comes with that comes quite a lot of kind of potentially overwhelm.
Yes.
And when you've got so many different tracks happening at the same time, you have to be incredibly demanding on your own time, really, don't you? So you have to really know what you're after. Whereas this felt like you could be a little bit more calm, a bit more collected, and you don't have that feeling of FOMO so much.
Yes.
And we were very lucky because we were speaking twice. I was talking about AI on a panel that Iris had organised, and my colleague Sobi was talking about equality on a panel that Capitalise had organised. And I think what is really nice is just to be able to give people that opportunity to speak on a theatre where, because it's perhaps even a little bit less competitive, isn't it? Theatre against theatre. It gives maybe a slightly broader range of speakers the opportunity to get out there and say something. And again, even for me, I said before about stepping out of your comfort zone. For me, that is quite difficult to do. And my colleague Sophie, that was her first speaking opportunity. Wow. So I think for people who perhaps are less experienced at speaking or less experienced at going to events, it's a really nice kind of entry into that world.
Yeah, I felt it quite intimate. It was lovely, and like you said, I just thinking on the curved ceiling, it felt like you were outside, not inside. Whereas some of these events that you go to, you just know you're inside all day, and it just feels like there's no light or no natural light or anything. But yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. And it was quiet as well, wasn't it? It wasn't that the buzz of the conversation was, I wasn't shouting at anybody. I didn't come home with a sore throat.
Well, did you not stay for the drinks afterwards? Actually, there was quite a lot of shouting at that point. I think. I
can imagine. Yeah, I can imagine. No, we left at 4 and I got home at 20 to 11. So yeah, it was pretty epic. But hey, I live in Devon, so it's one of those things.
20 to midnight, but I was able to stay for the drinks, which was quite fun. So I got to meet some fun people. Yeah. And I get quite overexcited about that stuff. And for me, I think I start seeing these links between things and links between products and links between bookkeepers, and you just start to have this feeling like everything's possible, and you're like, oh yeah, let's connect you with this person. And at ICB, we're undergoing this digital transformation, so we're building a new website and a new database, which is quite fun, because what it means is we're creating all these great new features, both for our staff team and our team globally, and also for our members. And it just, it could just kind of inspires all this, more thinking about, oh, that would be a great feature. And oh, yeah, we've got to build that in. So it helps with, it just helps you on kind of so many different levels, I think, to go to these events.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Philip has just said that it's great to see more local businesses, because sometimes they're not always up for traveling all the way to London. And it is a trek to London. If so if you're coming from Manchester to London to a show, you're staying over and all that sort of stuff. But obviously keeping it local was a great event. I wonder if Accountex fancies doing a tour and maybe going to regional areas, so like the Southwest and places like that. There's something to bear in mind.
We do a roadshow at ICBs. We do have kind of a London-centric bookkeeper summit as well as part of it being online. But yeah, we do a little bit of a roadshow. But yeah, you kind of do a vote every year to find out which are the most popular.
Yeah, that's the thing. You've got to go where people are, and London is pretty darn easy to get to, isn't it?
I find it quite easy to get to, but I live here, so
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And the other thing that I thought was lovely was pretty much the stands were all similar, and so you didn't have those great big organizations with huge budgets taking up a quarter of the space. That, you know, everybody that they all look the same, and I thought that was nice.
That's a very interesting point. So yeah, there's socio-economic factors not so much at play.
Yeah.
Yeah, and actually it's weird that you don't feel like you're losing anything, because sometimes it is nice to see all that kind of amazing kind of the theatre of these huge stands. I'm thinking particularly of that Sage stand at Accountex London with the huge umbrella. It was beautiful. But actually, yeah, I think you're right. It's more of a level playing field.
Yeah.
And perhaps sort of easier to get a kind of sense of the geography of, you know that you can see all those amazing stands and get around them. And yeah, and good to see some local businesses, as Philippa says.
Yeah.
Just a bit more accessible. We're all about accessibility at ICB. We've got online exams. We've got, all of our events are available online. So we're very much trying to make sure that we can attract or engage a very diverse kind of, audience of people. It doesn't matter if you can't leave your house, or you've got pets, or kids, or you're a carer, or you've just never been in this environment before. I think it is really important now in 2023 to make sure that what you do is as accessible as possible.
Yeah, no, I love that. That's a brilliant idea. Phil, London's Accountex looks a bit overwhelming, whereas Manchester is quite small and friendly. Yes, I totally agree, Claire. And Philippa is saying, good point. Nice to see some parity. And
I actually really like crowds, I've discovered, but this is partly because my 8-year-old is quite anxious at the moment, and when I take her on the tube, she finds it very difficult. And it's one of these things where you're always learning, aren't you? But it's kind of taught me something about myself as I try to kind of navigate the world through her eyes. But we are not all very good in that kind of environment.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's great to see the different shows. But yeah, for me, it was absolutely fantastic. And the key takeaway for me was community. So what was the key takeaway for you, Amy?
The key takeaway for me, I'm going to say community as well, because that's so important to us at ICB. And we had a lot of people come to us and say, what does ICB do that's different? And I guess fundamentally, it's that community. And professional bodies, yes, are all about standards. We're united on that respect. And we do have competency-based membership criteria. You cannot join ICB unless you're as good as the rest of our members, basically. We've got really high standards, high pass marks of 85%. I think I've said that before. But we, I guess, are a membership body first. And our standards and our qualifications are really a means to an end. So we are a platform for bookkeeping professionals to find their people and achieve their dreams.
Oh, fantastic. Absolutely superb. Last time you were on, I was dying with man flu or what have you. I've managed to go for the full 30 minutes today. I've got one more question for you, but before that, I'm just going to give a shout out to my guest next week, and I've got Nigel Greenwood coming. He's got this amazing little app called Bubble, so he's all about supporting small businesses, and so can't wait to have a chat with him. My final question to you is, what advice would you give a bookkeeper umming and ahhing about going to Accountex or Digital Accountancy Show when they next come around?
100%. Just go for it. There is so much benefit from getting out of the same environment all day. For me, as soon as I get outside of my house, my brain feels like it's, back on track. So you're going to meet people that you're going to learn from. You're going to hear things that are going to challenge your thinking. You are going to discover new pieces of software and tools that could benefit your business. And it will absolutely make a lasting impact on your work and even your day-to-day thinking.
Fantastic. And I guess that's true of your summit as well, isn't it?
It is, Ashley. How
Yeah.
could you tell? It absolutely is. Like I say, the Bookkeepers Summit is for bookkeepers. It's designed with bookkeepers in mind. And actually, Jo Wood, big influencer for bookkeepers we've already mentioned, she said that after she's been to the Bookkeepers Summit, she feels like she can do anything. And so it's that kind of feeling that we want, isn't it? We need it. We're all so limited by our own fear, our limiting beliefs. Don't let that happen to you. So if you need a bit more energy and you need to have the feeling of people in the same boat as you, you need to be able to see that other people are doing it and what you're doing is also good and you're on the right track. You've got to go to events like this to meet people. And it doesn't matter if you go in person or online, but if you can do both, I think you'll benefit even more.
Absolutely. Amy, it's been an absolute delight. Lovely to catch up with you yesterday. Thank you so much for saying yes. See you at another event one day, but I will definitely be with you for your summit. Thank you very much indeed. And thank you to all the lovely people for all their amazing comments. Thank you.
Have a lovely afternoon, everyone.
Cheerio.
Bye.
You get out what you put in, never gonna lose.